everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Friday to you all. Just a reminder that this week's topic is called Focus on These Things, where I encourage you to focus on things that I believe are more important and worth your time and energy. And today, specifically Friday, we are talking about being grateful. But before we jump into that, I do want to tell you again, happy Friday. I hope that your day is going well, whether it's just beginning, in the middle, or towards the end. And I hope that you guys have great plans for your weekend and you are going to have some relaxation time. For me, I actually took Friday off of work because I've literally been so overwhelmed with work and with everything about moving and renting our old home, and I've had so many panic attacks, and I just had to take a day off of work just to work on some projects around my house that I'm really excited about, and just kind of take a breather. So I encourage you, if you ever feel that way, to do that, because your health is worth more than being the overachiever that you may want to be, which was my issue for sure. So anyway, happy Friday. I hope that you're having a great day. If you're having a hard day, I always encourage everyone to try the 5-minute reset, which is to take at least 5 minutes to be by yourself. And if you have more time, take more, but be by yourself. And it allows you the opportunity to reset, reboot, restart your day right then and there, so you're able to enjoy and conquer the rest of your day and leave behind any feelings of burdens, issues, problems that you were dealing with. And you're just going to start fresh and new. And also during the 5-minute reset time, I always encourage everyone, if you have problems and issues that you are facing directly that are really big deals, maybe you can spend some time coming up with a resolution so that when you're done with your reset, you can go back and offer the resolution and hopefully move on from that problem. I always talk about, make the suggestion of creating a list of 4 things that you are grateful for. Those can be big things, small things, medium-sized things. You can literally be grateful for anything. You can be grateful that you found a really great deal on something that you needed at Target. Needed is a flexible word here. You can be grateful that someone was there to help you, maybe when your tire went out or when you ran out of gas or some sort of other thing that happened to you. You can be grateful for snuggles with your pet at home, or you can be grateful, like me, that you were able to take some time off of work or whatever other engagements that you have to have some kind of mental health time to recoup and become stronger for the next time you go back to work or back to whatever you're working on. So it just, the list is absolutely endless, which is so amazing, and it means you can be grateful. You should be able to create a quick list of 4 things very easily, since the list is endless. And last but not least, make sure that you're feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day, because hopefully with creating the gratitude list and taking a break to just breathe through, create some sort of resolution to any problems and restarting your day, you're able to shift your mindset and change your perspective on things. And despite what you're going through, hopefully you can, think a little bit more positively. And I'm not here to diminish what you're going through, but it's much easier to focus on the blessings and the positive things that are happening in your life than the negative things that are trying to drag you down and drown you in that negativity. So, just try it out. But I do hope on this Friday that you're having a really fantastic day. And again, just a reminder that yes, today is the last episode of this week when we're talking about focus on these things. And today, Friday, we are ending it with being grateful. So let's just jump right in. I had to end the week with a reminder about how important it is to focus on being grateful. Of course, gratitude is such an important thing in my life, and sometimes I struggle with remembering that it needs to be first and foremost in a lot of our lives and in my life personally. So I'm not perfect in that, but it is something that I adore and I do believe is super, super important. And, I talk about it at the top of every single episode that practicing gratitude will help you get through day-to-day struggles and be more content overall. And that's exactly the reason why I mention it every single episode, because I do feel like it can help you, because we do spend so much time really zoomed in on those negative things, being super nitpicky, when we need to widen our perspective and realize all of these amazing things that are there for us. We're just so zoomed in on this little thing that's standing over on the side. So that's why I talk about it, because I'm trying to change other people's thought processes to hopefully realize, yes, okay, this bad thing is happening, but it doesn't mean it needs to be at the forefront of my mind all the time. You know what I mean? So before I jump into a few steps on how to practice gratitude, let me share with you a few more benefits of it first. So benefit number one, and we're only doing 3 benefits, just so you know, and 7 steps. So the benefit number one is you are more willing to help others. So when you're just super grateful for everything, you're going to obviously be grateful when people take the time to come and help you and assist you in what you're doing, whether you ask for it or not. And so in turn, usually you will want to help others more because you want to kind of pay that back, not as like a super debt or anything, just more of like, oh my gosh, it's just going to feel good to help someone else, because I felt so grateful and happy that they were willing to help me. And honestly, when you do step in to help someone else, it makes you feel so good and warm inside, and you just feel so content and happy. And even that accomplished feeling that you can get when you finally complete something that was super, super important to you. Benefit number 2 is that it reduces feelings of jealousy. And, I feel like maybe a lot of us struggle with this, and maybe you wouldn't think of it directly as like, oh no, I'm not jealous of anyone. But if you just spend a lot of time, in social media or on TV, or even people in your real actual life, and you find yourself comparing yourself to them, there is a little bit of hint of jealousy there, because you are thinking that you are less than them, and that you kind of wish that you were like them, and that is a hint of jealousy there. So practicing gratitude more often will continually flow in your mind the things that you are grateful for, the blessings that are in your life, and then you'll realize how blessed you are to be different for everything you have, and realize that everyone has different things and is at different seasons of life. So there's no reason to be jealous of them, because you have so many of your own blessings and wonderful things happening in your life, just like they do. They're just not the same, and they don't need to be the same. And the third benefit that I'm going to mention is the last one. And just so you know, this is not like a comprehensive list of benefits, obviously. It's just the ones that I wanted to highlight that aren't, the super generalized ones that people always talk about. But benefit number 3 is it will strengthen your resiliency. So, if you're able to bounce back and flex a little bit when hard and tough things happen, because you're able to reflect back and realize all the wonderful things that you are grateful for, that you're thankful for, that are happening in your life, that are just such amazing piece of positivity shining bright for you. So, it is, as opposed to if you're always focusing on the negative things in your life and all the hard things that are happening, you're not going to have the ability to really bounce back as well, because you're going to kind of feel that crushing feeling of like, why are all these bad things always happening to me? Like that kind of thought process, almost kind of like a victim kind of mentality, but not quite, you know what I mean? And when you practice gratitude and you're constantly doing that, you're realizing, okay, this tough thing is happening. This bad thing is happening. Yes, I acknowledge it's bad. It sucks. It's not fun. I need to get help for it. However, at least I can turn over here and this amazing thing is happening. I can turn over here and this amazing thing is happening. And so you're able to bounce back a little quicker. You're able to kind of brush things off a little bit easier, and you're just going to be strong in general, which means you'll be able to bounce back, meaning you will be stronger in your resiliency. So now, let me share with you a couple quick steps you can take to practice gratitude on the daily. So step number 1, and again, we're doing 7 steps. Step number 1 is to keep a gratitude journal or a daily list. So I wanted to make sure that I listed both, because not everyone is into journaling. I've mentioned many times on the show, I'm not really into journaling. I don't have the patience to sit and journal that kind of stuff. And it's kind of funny, because for me at least, because I am a writer, I love to sit and write and come up with ideas and, be really thorough. But like journaling seems hard, because it seems like while I'm writing and the times that I've tried, and maybe I need to try journaling more like on the computer, because I don't have the patience to sit there and write everything, because even when I do other writing activities, I do it on the computer. But it's just I don't have the patience to sit there and write everything out. And I'm also judging myself as I'm writing because I'm like, wow, why do you feel like that? Why are you writing it like that? And blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, it's something that I need to get over. But so what I like to do is create like a little list, like in my planner or just on a piece of like the notebook that I'm using for the day, and create a little list that I can reflect back on. And you can do that on paper or on your computer or on your phone, like whatever it is. I just encourage you. That is a way that you can practice gratitude, which is keeping a journal or a daily list where you list out. I would encourage you always at least 4 things. And you know, when I talk about the 5-minute reset, it's not necessarily like if you're having a bad day, that's the only time you can do it. You can literally do it if you're having like a mediocre day or a day where you just feel blah. But the whole creating a gratitude list thing, you can literally do that. You should do that every single day, good or bad or mediocre days. But yeah, I would encourage you to create a list of at least 4 of them, because it's kind of a tough number. You know, I feel like 3 is easy and 5 can be really tough, but 4 is like, yes, you have to stretch yourself just a little bit more. But like I told you at the beginning of the episode, if you didn't skip through it, is that you can literally be grateful for anything. So making that list where you should put a little bit of thought into it should be fairly easy for you. So I encourage you to journal about it or create a list for you to list what you're grateful for. Step 2 is to notice the amazing little things. So you know how this is going to sound really cheesy, but if you're just out and you're walking around and you see like a cute bunny and you're like, oh my gosh, cute bunny, or you see like a cute dog or a cat, or you walk by someone's garden or some sort of flower arrangement, if it's like done by the city or maybe one of your neighbors or whatever, and you're like, that's so beautiful. Or maybe you will see someone have like drop everything and then a stranger comes by and helps them pick it up, and you're just like, wow, that's so beautiful, that's so kind of them. Or maybe you go through the drive-thru and they give you 2 of the thing that you wanted as opposed to 1. Like someone told me the other day that they went to Starbucks and ordered egg bites and got 2 packs of them except for 1, and they were only charged for 1, and they were like so happy about it. So I've had that happen too. Not that exact example, but you know what I mean. So it's just, I would encourage you to be grateful and notice those little amazing things that just pop up and that are just warming to your heart and just fill you with a little bit of joy and positivity. And do that more often, because the more often you do it, the more often you're going to see it, and the more often it'll bring you that joy and pleasure and happiness, which will continue to fuel your positive mindset and push you to be more grateful for things on the regular. So just continually notice all the little things. Like for me, I don't know why I get super emotional about when, like, if I drop something, someone will immediately jump to pick it up, and I'm just like so grateful. Or people hold doors open for me, because I know that's like some people's pet peeves that I follow online, like, why didn't you hold the door for the person in front of you or behind you or whatever. And then when people just like smile at me and just are just so super sweet, it's amazing. And then I don't know, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, I always swoon when I see cute little puppies or bunnies running through the neighborhood, or I see like cutie kitties, even if they're stray ones, they're just adorable. So I would just encourage you, again, to notice the little amazing things in your everyday life. Step number 3 is to reframe attitudes of negativity. So it's kind of related to what I talk about at the top of every episode in the 5-minute reset, where it's like, instead of zooming in so tight on all the negative, hard, tough things that you're currently going through, take a step back and widen your perspective to realize that there are so many amazing things still happening. Little blessings, big blessings, fun, enjoyable things happening in your life. And so anytime you do go through something tough and you want to be really upset about it and you want to just lash about, like, there's nothing wrong with expressing your feelings and admitting that something really sucks and it's not what you want to be going through or be experiencing. That's fine. But then you need to reframe your negative thinking to shift and be like, okay, well, I have to go through this thing. Okay, well, what can I do to lessen the blow? What am I going to learn during this experience? And how can I recruit help to help me get me through it a lot easier than going through it alone, right? So it's just an encouragement for you to just like just change your thinking. You don't always have to be in that negative headspace because bad things are happening to you. You get to make a choice. You get to make a choice on how you're feeling. And something that I think I've mentioned before that I am learning a lot about in this small group devotional thing that I'm doing is that, you have to, what is it? It's like choices first and feelings follow. It's like you have to make the decision. Basically, it's like you have to make the decision first to change your mind, and then your feelings of that will follow. You can't just wait for your feelings to be like, okay, I will finally not be mad or negative about this. No, you have to make the choice to not be negative about it, and then your feelings will follow after that. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. And then you're able to have a different perspective on what's happening, because especially if you're so zoomed in on what the negative things that are happening to you, you might not realize that it's not as bad as you're making it out to be. You're just so up in it that if you take a step back and you can see the whole horizon, as you could say, then you would realize, oh wow, this isn't that bad of a thing. Or you might zoom out and be like, this is really, really a bad thing, but I'm going to make it through. There's always tomorrow, and I can get help if I need it. So just consider that. Step number 4 is to volunteer. It's a classic example. It's really related to the other one when it's really related to the benefit of gratitude that I mentioned earlier in the show, which was to be more, you're going to end up being more willing to help others if you do practice gratitude. But to practice gratitude, I encourage you to volunteer places. So whether that's at church or your place of worship, or maybe that's at your child's school or some sort of community program in your city, in your community, whether you're helping the homeless or, helping lower income families, a women's shelter, some sort of Boys and Girls Club kind of space for kids to go that don't necessarily have places to go after school. And I know that can be a mix of kids. It's not necessarily kids that need help, but there are some kids there that, need extra attention and care. Just those kind of programs, I would encourage you to just volunteer and help out. Or maybe you have an elderly neighbor, or maybe not even elderly, just someone that needs a little bit more support and help that lives by you, that you can go and help them and offer to do grocery shopping or chores for them, or even just sit with them and chat with them. But yeah, I would encourage you to volunteer, because once you volunteer and you help out with someone that is going through something that you're not currently experiencing, it helps to really boost your feelings of being grateful for what you currently have, and realizing that you do need to continually count your blessings because other people are suffering worse than you. And everyone's dealing with something, of course, but it'll really push you forward into thinking, man, I hope that I can do everything I can to help them, but I am grateful for what I have as well. Step number 5 is to live mindfully in the moment. It is very important that we don't focus on what has happened in the past, because the past is the past. You can't change the past. You can dwell on the past. It's not going to help you. All you can do is you can reflect, not multiple times, but you can reflect back on the past a couple times and get the learning lessons that you need and use those lessons going forward. So dwelling on the past is not going to change anything, and it's not going to help you in the future if you aren't actually trying to learn anything, if you're just trying to figure out what you could have done different, but not in a way of, I know there was a pause there, I'm sorry. It's you can dwell on it and think oh, I could have done it differently, with 5 different ways, and you just living in regret, which is different from you actually analyzing it very quickly, taking your learning lessons and moving on, and not continually returning to that scene of the crime. Do you know what I mean? But also, we need to focus on not continually worrying about the future and being uncertain about that and having anxiety about that, which is something that I struggle with immensely. So I do need to work on living mindfully in the moment more. I feel like I have been doing that a lot more in the last month or so. And I am trying to do that more and more and more, because, we don't know when we're going to leave this earth at all. And we should try to help other people, love other people, be a good representative of who you should be and while we're here on this earth, and try to enjoy our lives in the most positive way that we can. So I encourage you to live mindfully in the moment, do as much as you can, enjoy your life, help others, be a blessing to others, and just revel in the fact that you are here, you are alive, and you are experiencing life, and try to make the most of it, right? Okay, so step number 6, this is the second to last one, is to see tough times as valuable lessons, which I've already mentioned kind of in a different kind of way, but I find it very important that if you are currently going through something, again, take a step back and realize, okay, I'm going through this. What am I supposed to be learning here? What lessons can I take away from this? And that might be kind of difficult if you're in the middle of it, because maybe you haven't seen everything like fully through, which is fine. But if you continually have that mindset while you're going through it, then you'll be more apt to do it once you come out the other side. And then again, if you have gone through something recently, then you can reflect back on it and analyze it, and then figure out what you needed to learn from that, what you can take with you moving forward, and then leave it back there. Always encouraging you to leave it back there, okay? Step number 7. Oh, I'm so excited, and I'm glad that I'm not keeping you guys as long as I have for every other episode this week. So, because it's Friday, and it's like, I love doing these shows and I love giving the information, but I understand that sometimes it can just be wearing when the episode's so long. So, plus, gratitude is something I talk about all the time, so I don't need to bore you to death with it. But step number 7 is to nurture your relationships. You can definitely practice gratitude every single day by nurturing the relationships you have, whether that is romantic relationships or parental, family relationships, or just friendships, because, good friends and family and, people that you care about can be hard to find or take that time. So you shouldn't just take any of those relationships for granted. You should put in the time and the work. Don't be shameful of telling them that you love them and you care about them. I know that can be super awkward. It is crazy awkward for me. I am trying to work on doing that and being more like, hey, I need you to know that I care about you. I do think about you often. I'm praying for you. I am here for you if you want to talk. I'm really bad about getting those words out. I can say them here right now, but if I need to actually say it to them, it seems awkward. I think that they might be feeling awkward, which may or may not be true. I don't know, and it shouldn't matter. We should just want to acknowledge our care and love for those relationships that we have. So I encourage you to nurture your relationships, and be forthcoming with your feelings, and don't take anyone for granted, and continually feel blessed for the relationships that you have in your life. And then if you have had any bad ones that you're moving on from, again, take any learning lessons you can from that and move forward. Okay, you guys, well, that's it. That's all I have for you today and this week, and regarding the things that I think that are worth your time and energy to focus on. Again, thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. I appreciate you guys coming back and listening to all the episodes that you have, for downloading, for sharing it with people, and just, continually blessing me with, just the opportunity to share my knowledge and research with you. I just love it. So have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you back here next week. Bye, everyone.